I worked in a district where a politician was invited to the district, and I was teaching at a school that this politician was not observing. However, I was asked a week or two before the politician actually came to go visit the school that he was going to and teach a class how to do computer science the way that I did it at my school. And over the course of multiple lessons, I taught them all the very basics of like how to engage in interest-driven learning, work on multiple platforms, etc., and create things that were interesting to them. Then when the politician came to that school, which is not my school, I was asked to visit in there and pretend like I was basically teaching there and to answer some questions. And the kids were also able to ask some questions of the politician. These questions were literally scripted out in advance and had to have been approved by the PR team. The politician was not going to just answer any question. And the politician had a schedule down to the minute of what rooms they were going to be in, what they were going to visit, what they were going to see. So the school looked beautiful. All the paths that he was going to take, like everything had artwork of students creating stuff on the walls. And yeah, it looked great. But if you were to go into another side for the building or a different room, you would have had a very different scenario. You would have had an actual classroom with their actual teacher in there rather than myself as a guest working with some kids I'd only met the week or two before and who was pretending to basically teach a class that I didn't actually know. When you invite in award-winning educators with doctorates in education into the classroom and pretend like that's just a normal experience that a politician walks into and sees, it's going to give them a very biased understanding. Go, oh yeah, things are great. You know what? We cut funding in this district drastically over the last few years, but hey, look at how well they're doing. They're creating all sorts of really interesting things. We could cut funding more because, look at all this great stuff that they're doing in this district. Why do we need to continue to add more to the budget when they're doing just fine without it? So if we want to combat apprenticeship of observation from people who may have gone to wealthy schools their entire life and don't know what it's like to actually work in, learn in, or teach in a Title I school or many of the other variants of schools that are out there, we need to actually invite them into a classroom to see what it looks like. An actual classroom to see what an actual day looks like. Or even better, have politicians substitute for some kids who don't know they're politicians. See what it's like to actually teach. Do that for a week. See if that changes their opinions on teacher pay. This excerpt of the CSK8 podcast is from episode number 202, which is titled The Apprenticeship of Observation and Computer Science Education.